The Board of Commissioners to order at 9:01 a.m. We will begin with an attendance roll call.
Commissioner Nolden.
Present.
Commissioner Winfrey.
Here.
Commissioner Ellenberg.
Here.
Commissioner Clemens.
Present.
Commissioner Avery.
Present.
Commissioner Shoemaker. Commissioner Davis.
Present.
Commissioner Newman. Commissioner Peppin.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. We have a quorum. That'll take us on to our invocation. This week's invocation will be led by a special guest from Commissioner Davis's district. So I'll turn it over to Commissioner Davis for an introduction.
Okay. We have Greg Snyder with us here today. He was born and raised in this St. Robert's Parish. He now is at Holy Family. He's a Eucharist minister, lector, and trustee at Holy Family. So thank you, Greg Snyder.
Thank you, commissioners and fellow residents. Appreciate this opportunity. If we could take a moment. Almighty God, may your grace cover each aspect of this meeting. We pray that all voices will be heard and that we will have a mindset of inclusivity. May this be a safe space for the commissioners to express their opinions and a place where their ideas matter more than their titles. May everyone engage and be involved, and may all concerns be addressed. May each member of this board feel valued, and may we recognize the skill sets and knowledge that each person brings to the table. We trust in your love. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is the approval of the draft minutes from the September 7th meeting.
Move the minutes.
Support.
It has been moved and supported. Is there any changes to the minutes or any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving the draft minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The minutes are adopted. That'll turn us over to public address to the board. At this time, any member of the public wishing to address the board will have 2 minutes to do so. We ask that you start by stating your name and city of residence. And again, as always, we ask that you keep your items professional and no personal attacks. Is there any member of the public wishing to address the board?
April Delor, Grand Blanc Township. So I'm here to address the working from home as county employees. I'm a little concerned about the security of working at home, among the internet service that someone may have, among the people that they may have around during the time that they are working from home, who may be available to public information that they have at their home. Maybe security and break-ins could happen. Somebody could steal things, as though that may be a little out there, but it's not too unknown. I mean, as it is, we already know that we had a clerk that was able to enter the building and, tamper with votes. So I'm just kind of concerned about the whole security measures. And, I understand the hybrid model that you're trying to present. I understand that, but this whole working at home thing for people who are of a county level, I think is a little extreme when there's not an emergency order in place to do so. I think that our place of employment keeps things more secure among the people that work there and not outsiders that could tamper with those kind of personal information. I think that we're just opening up a Pandora box of a lot of issues and things to go wrong. So I hope that you're going to reconsider that and not allow all of our information of these counties to have the ability to be tampered with, as it is personal information. It's a huge concern. I can't see why this is not a concern to others, although I have talked to other people that it is. So, I think our privacy is very important, especially in this day and age where privacy is very at the fingertips of almost anybody, and I think that keeping it here is where it should stay. So I don't think that this is going to be a great model for people who work in this building specifically. Thank you.
Is there any other member of the public wishing to address the board? Public comment going twice.
Holger Spiewak, Davison, Michigan. I just wanted to say something, as we have the elections coming up in November, and there's obviously a lot of distrust in the election process. I think it would be worth our while to consider what we can do in this county to set the example to make elections secure and know that every voice is heard, everyone is counted correctly. I think everybody agrees, if somebody votes Democrat, they want a Democrat vote. If somebody votes Republican, they want a Republican vote. If somebody votes independent, they want an independent vote. So I think it's very important for us to address that and make sure that in this county, we set that example that our elections are 100% secure and every voice is counted the right way. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other member of the public wishing to address the board? Any other member of the public? Seeing none, public comment is now closed. That'll move us on to communications. We have 4 communication items, none of them requiring action. An emergency purchase for the office, 3 emergency purchases for the office of the sheriff, and emergency purchase for transport of military surplus equipment. Those are all on the record. That'll move us on to reports. Board of Commissioners, Resolution 22-806, approval of a purchase order to CDW for the fiscal year ending 2022 in an amount not to exceed $13,267.13. It has been moved and supported. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? The motion is adopted. That'll move us on to the Community and Economic Development Committee. Meredith Davis, chairperson.
Since we discussed all of these items in committee meeting, I would like to move items 1 through 13.
It has been moved and supported to move items 1 through 13. Is there any commissioners wishing to pull any item out? Seeing none, is there any discussion on items 1 through 13? Being no discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Those resolutions are adopted. Is there any report from the Community and Economic Development Chair?
None at this time.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Finance Committee. Gary Pepin, chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to move items 1 through 18.
It has been moved and supported to move items 1 through 18. Is there anything you would like to have taken out from any commissioner? Commissioner Ellenberg.
Could you move out 9 only for the fact that I like the amount of the bills in the record?
All right, we'll do items 1 through 8 and 10 through 18, if that is acceptable to the motion maker. All right, any other pullouts? Seeing none, is there any discussion on 1 through 8 and 10 through 18? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Those resolutions are adopted.
Forwarding to receive and file a copy of the paid county bills for the week ending 8/14/821 in a total amount of $8,929,434.58.
It has been moved and supported to pay the bills. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
The motion is adopted. Is there any report from the Finance Committee?
Not this time.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Governmental Operations Committee. Bryant Nolden, chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to move, since we've had these in Government Ops Committee, 1 through 15.
Items 1 through 15 have been moved and supported. Is there any items to be pulled from the Government Operations Committee?
Mr. Chair, just for verification and maybe explanation from remove number 8 for discussion.
All right. Is that acceptable to the motion maker? Seeing no opposition, we'll move items 1 through 7 and 9 through 15. Is there any discussion on 1 through 7 and 9 through 15? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is adopted. I'll turn it back over to Commissioner Nolden for item number 8.
I'd like to move for approval the remote work policy for Genesee County employees. Support.
It has been moved and supported. Discussion. Commissioner Davis.
Yes, I expressed opposition to this last week. I am concerned about there not being a program in place to monitor the productivity of working from home. I know that hybrid models can work for some. I know people that are very successful who do remote work completely. But I am concerned with, hours being fudged, safety of information, there are distractions at home, and I would have liked to see more of a program in place to know that we have some kind of tracking of, their work from home and their workload and productivity with that. So that's why I'm a no on this.
Is there any other discussion? Commissioner Ellenberg.
Like going through the policies that's been written up for this, I feel pretty secure because of the fact that it's going to be for specific individuals. And those individuals are going to be the ones that are going to be able to fulfill this job. They're the ones that are the go-getters at work and still be able to do their job. They're very committed. They have to be very organized. And I don't see a problem. It's not an everyday thing. It will be like maybe a Friday where, production during pandemic, production of work at home was proven that people were getting their jobs done just as fast as they were here. Childcare, that was one of the things that I was worried about, is like their dependents at home. They still have to show that they have childcare. So if they have a 3-year-old, they still have to have childcare. And that's not at their home, that's somewhere else taking care of it. If a school day, if, kids are off of school, they still have to show proof that that child's being taken care of somewhere else. They can't be there at the home and disturbing that worker. So I feel pretty sound with the policy that's been put in place. It's, basically for a trial basis. If that person does mess up and isn't getting the production done, they are going to be watched, and that person can be removed from that position and brought back to this work at the city. Anytime they're here for the county that need to be here, their supervisor is going to be watching them and kind of like making sure that they're getting the job done. So I'm comfortable with the policy that's wrote. I think that we're covering the bases, we're covering our liability, and so I'm in favor of it.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
The motion is adopted. Is there any report from the Governmental Operations Committee? That'll move us on to the Human Services Committee.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. At this time, I'd like to move items 1 through 57.
Items 1 through 57 on Human Services has been moved and supported. Is there any commissioner that would like to remove any item? Give you all a second to look through that. Seeing no items to be removed, is there any discussion on items 1 through 57? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The resolutions are adopted. Is there any report from the Human Services Committee?
Mr. Chair, if I may, through our chair, I do have, something to report. The Veterans falls under Human Services, and so this Saturday, they did a stand down, and I would like to see if Bill Palmer could come up and kind of explain the situation. And I was really surprised, being the fact that Genesee County, this is the first time we've really put one on Lake Callis. And I think Bill was expecting maybe 300 to 500 people. I was there from like 11 until 3, and the excitement that was there and the veterans that we've seen. When I left, there had been 2,000 veterans registered, and that wasn't including their families. So if Bill could extend on the rest of the day, I'll turn it over to him.
Thank you. It was way more than we expected overall. The people that were there had observed events before, said we were anywhere between 4,000 and 6,000 people. So I thought that was a huge success. The amount of veterans were there, we had veterans there that were in wheelchairs. We had a couple World War II veterans. And just to see that amount of older generation even showing up to an event like that was pretty impressive. We had a lot of The workers that are from Lake Callis said that they were actually kind of, took it really to heart to see so many people with walkers, wheelchairs, the power chairs, simply because, you don't always see that at many events. And when we put this on, we started out, it was like, okay, like you said, we were gonna do, I'm thinking maybe 500, 600, but the amount of people that came out showed that we were trying to set the example and being part of the community, and also showing that the veterans are important and their families are important. And that's really what we really want to convey, and that there's so many resources out there, and Genesee County is so fortunate to have just, all the resources and all the support from a lot of the businesses and just the community in general. So we want to thank the community and those businesses and you as well, because you allowed us to help put this on, so I thank you as well.
Well, a special thank you to Bill, Beth, Shannon, and everybody from the veterans staff. I mean, there's been a time that, I've had veterans come in my office and I would say, well, you can get services up in the veteran services, and they didn't want to go there because they had been returned down for some reason. And now I think veterans have kind of improved their name, and they're doing the services that they are supposed to be doing and helping veterans. We're very lucky to have an extra millage to help veterans that don't fall under the categories of a federal or state regulations. So we should be very proud of our veterans and the team that's there now, that's really out there every day, pounding the ground, trying to find a veteran. And being Genesee County has one of the largest populations of veterans, we need to be touching every one of them. And the shoes were a big deal. I mean, I don't know what company it was, but they donated $150 pairs of tennis shoes, and people stood in line. It was 90 degrees to get these shoes. They ran out of sizes, and
Yeah, they were on Cloud. I think I looked at their site. They said they gave away 365 pairs of shoes, and the fact that they should have brought the other bus with all the other shoes on it. And they're on Cloud shoes, and I've had a pair, didn't get over there to get my own, but that's okay. Other veterans needed it more than I do.
well, I've seen older veterans get their shoes and go sit at a bench, take their shoes off and put these shoes on, because they've probably never had, because they had like the little spring bottoms, so they were like real cushy. I mean, they were like, on cloud nine. They actually were on cloud nine. So thank you for everything you do, and thank you for that event, and hopefully we have just as successful next year.
Well, I definitely will definitely think it'll be bigger next year, but I definitely want to give accommodations to my staff. Without them, they're the ones that actually do a lot of the groundwork and answering the phone calls and everything. So without them, I'm just one guy. So.
And Lake Callis did a really good job. It was a good site. Next year maybe a different site. Maybe
That's what we've been
Crossroad
thinking.
Village would
Yeah.
be a nice site. Just kind of giving Barry a heads up. That would be a good event. So anyway, thank you again.
Thank you.
Is there anything else from the Human Services Committee?
No, not at this time.
That'll take us to Public Works Committee. Commissioner Ellen Ellenberg, chairperson.
I'd like to make a motion for 1 through 18.
There's been a motion and support to move items 1 through 18 under the Public Works Committee. Is there any items to be removed? Seeing none, is there any discussion on items 1 through 18? Being no discussion, we will move into a vote. All those in favor of moving items 1 through 18 under Public Works, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Are there any opposed? Those resolutions are adopted. That'll move us on to unfinished business. There is none. New and miscellaneous business. We do have several items to consider that are being added on. The first one I wasn't sure if we wanted to bring up now or next week in Finance Committee, but we have here the report from our financial services team around Plant Moran. Was there an interest of the body to take care of this now or next week at the Finance Committee?
We can take care of it now.
I would like to wait till next week if we could.
Okay. So is there anyone that would like to make it's not on the agenda, so unless someone makes a motion, it'll go to the Finance Committee. All right, seeing no motion, we'll send that to the Finance Committee. Next is an add-on from the Director of our Planning Commission, the Michigan Department of Transportation Master Agreement Extension Amendment. This will need 6 votes to get added to the agenda for discussion.
I'll support.
Been moved and supported. We'll take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Nolden,
Yes.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Avery,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Peppin.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right, that'll bring us to this item. This is the Michigan Department of Transportation is requiring that the master agreement in place with Genesee County be amended to extend the contract from September 30th, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. The date extension is the only change to the master agreement being proposed. At this time, staff is requesting approval to amend the contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation to extend the master agreement to September 30th, 2024, and for the Director of Planning Commission, Derek Bradshaw, to sign the amendment. Is there a motion to adopt said resolution?
Support.
And it's been moved and supported. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The motion is adopted. Add-on number 2 is from our G-Card department, Stephanie Howard, the director. Is there a motion to add this to the agenda? It's been moved and supported. We do need 6 votes to add it for discussion. We will take a roll call vote.
Commissioner Winfrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Avery,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Peppin,
Yes.
Commissioner Nolden. Motion passes 7-0.
All right. So this is for G-Cards requesting the authorization to amend the CSBG budget with the recommendation of approval by the Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
The fund number for the budget adjustment is 2769.694. The reason for this adjustment is to ensure expenses do not exceed revenue. It has been moved and supported. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? That motion is adopted. The third and final add-on also comes from Stephanie Howard, Executive Director of G-Card. Is there a motion to add it for discussion?
I move it.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. We'll take a roll call vote for 6.
Commissioner Ellenberg,
Yes.
Commissioner Clemens,
Yes.
Commissioner Avery,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Commissioner Peppin,
Yes.
Commissioner Nolden, Commissioner Winfrey.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
All right. This item, G-Card's requesting authorization to amend the ERA2 budget with the recommendation of approval by the Board of Commissioners. The budget adjustments for G-Card's emergency rental assistance program to assist low-income families with housing and utilities in Genesee County. The U.S. Department of Treasury ERA2 grant was approved under the Board of Commissioners Resolution 2021-1115. The reason for this adjustment is to ensure expenses do not exceed revenue.
So moved.
It has been moved. Is there support? Moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of approving this item, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? The resolution is adopted. Is there any other business any commissioner would like to bring before the board at this time?
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Ellenberg.
Yes, if we could do just a moment of silence. Our first woman mayor for the city of Burton had passed away last week, Jane Nacheski. She was, the first woman, she was a councilwoman and then the mayor of the city of Burton. So if we could just do a moment of silence, I appreciate that.
Thank you. We'll take a moment of silence. Thank you. Is there any other commissioner that has any business or anything to bring before the board? Seeing none, we stand adjourned at 9:25 a.m.